so happy we alive.
I figured it was okay because UC Santa Barbara had a normal chapter, and that'd be a really great way for me to get involved because I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in marijuana reform. I wanted to end the drug war. I wanted to legalize all drugs and make the world a better place. So when I came to UC Santa Barbara, I was very disappointed to find out that the campus chapter was not active. They hadn't been active in several years. So I just couldn't let that stand. I had to do something about that. And it took a little while. I got in touch with the former leaders of the chapter, and many people had graduated. That's why our chapter died off. And so I started pretty much with just 2 people, and they were busy with school. So I went out and I set up a table on campus with a big sign that said normal with the pot leaf. And I sat out in the sunshine of Santa Barbara, and I just collected emails. And once I had enough emails on my list, I started having meetings. And many of the people who came to our first meeting 2 years ago are still members now, and they're here at this conference with us. And they've helped me do a lot. I started with no experience. I'd never done anything like this before. I was just a regular stoner from suburbia, and I knew I wanted to do something, but I had no idea how to do it, and I knew I needed help. So once I started having meetings, I really was lost. I had all these people in the room, and I didn't know how to get them to do what I wanted them to do. And that was part of the problem. It wasn't really about what I wanted to do. It was what about the group wanted to do and what the group felt needed to get done. So I really reached out to all the campus resources to get help since I didn't know what I was doing. And I was fortunate to enroll in a leadership certificate program on campus that required me to take a Leadership 101 class, and I learned a lot from that, and I'll share some of that with you in just a minute. But first, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about our chapter and how we function. Our mission is simply just to educate the public about cannabis and why cannabis laws need to be reformed. And we do that by having fun events on campus just to bring the community out, get their attention, and maybe try to impart a little bit of knowledge to them so that when bills are introduced, they can tell their senators or their congresspeople to vote for them, or they themselves can vote yes on our initiatives. And so it's important to decide what message you want to get across. We have lots of chapters using the safer message. Cannabis is safer than alcohol. That's a great message. In Santa Barbara, we're really blessed. There's really no opposition. It might make things sound easy. Sometimes it's hard to get attention. But as Chris was explaining with the HEA resolutions, I didn't have to gather 3,000 signatures. I just went to the Office of Student Life and found out where I was supposed to go to get something like that introduced, and somebody did it for me. One of the Associated Students members said, "Oh, I'll introduce that at the Ledge Council meeting and get it passed." And a week later, I had passed an AS resolution saying UC Santa Barbara supported ending the higher education provision which denied financial aid. And so it was so easy to just get something done right away. It didn't take a lot of work. So once I did get a group of people together, it was really easy to get things done. But there's some challenges with leading a campus chapter, and those challenges start with credibility. You know, everybody expects us to be the stoner slacker group on campus, and sometimes we do have stoner slackers, but you know what? We're also students. First off, that gives us credibility right away. We had to earn that right to be on that campus, and so you know we do have abilities, and we're not just losers on the street. We have a little bit of credibility to start off with, which really helps us a lot. But unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't work. So the way we gain credibility is just by going out there and getting things done. And like I said, we passed the AS resolution right away, but we also just tabled out there every day, and anytime there was a campus event being hosted, we participated in that, the campus activities fair, the leadership retreat. We were invited to come to UC Merced for their first week of school to table and maybe get a new chapter started there, which we did, and we did get a new chapter started. And the administration sees you, your fellow students see you, the associated students, leaders see you, and they see what you're doing and that you're getting things done, and that's what gives you credibility and respect. And once you start to build it, it just snowballs and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as Karen said, our chapter is now one of the largest chapters or campus organizations, and we have a lot of respect. And even with that respect, we still get problems. So I can imagine what it's like for people at other chapters, but just go out there and get things done, and that's what gives you credibility. And you can wear a suit and a tie if you want, but pink hair is all right too. Another challenge with campus chapters is just time. At UCSB, we're on the quarter system. It's a 10-week system. That means every 3 or 4 weeks we have a midterm, and then 4 weeks later we have a final, and then everybody leaves for a week, and then they come back and do it all over again. So when do we get stuff done in between then? It's really a challenge. You got to make sure you stay on top of things. And the key to that is just really delegating, using your group members, using the resources that you have. Another challenge is motivation. A lot of people join chapter or campus organizations so that they can put something down on their resume, so that they can get credit on a grad school application for that extracurricular activity. But normal is like a red flag, so people think, no, I don't want to do that. So really, the people who do show up want to be there for a reason. They're there because they want to affect change and they want to get things done. So you have to use that motivation. You have to give them an opportunity to participate and give back. And so also with motivation, people think, once again, we're lazy stoners, but we're really not. Sometimes cannabis can be very motivating in the opposite way when you think of the way things can be, and if you just take small steps, someday we can be free, and cannabis can really motivate you in a lot of ways. So, and finally, at the campus chapters, we have huge turnover, graduation. People are leaving every year, coming and going. Leaders are graduating. So it's important that every person in the organization is involved in leadership. It should not just be 1 or 2 people leading the group. It really needs to be coming from everybody within the group. And you need to communicate with your members. You need to have accountability with your members when they say they're going to do something. Make sure it gets done. You know, it goes along with credibility. Are we going to be slackers, or are we going to get things done? And also keep it simple. You know, like the other panelists have said, you don't have to do a huge rally right away. You can just go get a simple resolution passed through your government. You can just start passing out flyers that talk about the Higher Education Act, because students are really affected by this issue. One of the keys that really helped me in leading my campus chapter was just lessons from grassroots leadership. And in grassroots leadership, the goal is really to develop leadership in others, which fits perfectly with the campus needs of always having to develop new leadership because people are graduating. So grassroots leadership requires very little position power for leaders, which also fits well with normal campus chapters, because leaders have little ability to reward and punish their members. If they don't get things done, how can you punish somebody? So again, the motivation that people want to get things done, you have to really use that and let people know that they're participating and they're getting things done. And this also leaves the entire group accountable. So if things go wrong, it's not one person's fault. And when things go right, it's not one person's credit. It's everybody's credit and everybody's gain. So that everybody works together so that it's a success, and not one person is stressing out saying, oh my God, if I don't get this one speaker to show up, everybody's going to think I'm a fool because I told them they would come. You know, it falls back on the group. And with students, we are busy. Chris said we have time. I don't know where that came from. We're very busy with tests in school and extracurricular activities, and if you have to have a job on top of that, it doesn't leave a lot of room for something like this. So you have to really use your strengths and your members. Don't have somebody who's shy out there tabling, you know, get the motivated, energetic person out there tabling. You don't have to force somebody into something that doesn't work for them. But also when it comes to leadership, the leaders are there really to facilitate the group rather than to direct. Just help people get things done. If they want to get things done, help them. Make sure there's a room to meet at. Make sure there's a sign-up sheet so you can get people's emails. Make sure somebody puts those emails in a list so that we can email everybody and let them know where the meeting is next time. Sometimes simple things like that seem really easy, but they're actually pretty hard to get done. So one example that I would just like to share with you is our new co-chair, Alex. He came to our group this year, and he was a freshman and didn't even know about normal. And within a couple of weeks, we've given him a position on our board as a publicity chair, and now he's going to be a co-chair for next year. And we didn't require anything of him but his service, and he came and he put up and he showed up, and he really helped the group succeed. And it's because we gave him the opportunity to do what he wanted to do and what he was able to do, and we're really going to succeed because of that. And so